let's start with Big Blue. IBM's fourth quarter profit and revenue came in higher than expected. The guidance for 2019, I think, is what is driving the stock. Shares of IBM up 8%.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't get too optimistic just looking at the guidance because the company itself continues to trudge along. And like we say, pretty much every quarter, IBM's best days are way, way behind it. And this particular quarter, it was pretty much just more of the same. Revenue fell a small amount, but revenue growth for the full year is essentially flat, which in any normal context, you would say that sucks. But, looking at IBM and given what they've been through over the past several years of just bleeding revenue, that is progress. And it's better than it used to be, mainly because some of their growing businesses like AI, analytics, application management, they're now a larger percentage of revenue than they used to be. So the growth from those businesses is just driving larger changes in the business. But it's still not that good, as other core parts of the business are still in decline. And although IBM has relationships with many major enterprises out there, there's no way on its own that it can compete against companies like AWS, Azure when it comes to the cloud. And the core of IBM, in my mind, is still entirely uninspiring.
Let me push back in this regard that
Sure.
The obituary for IBM has been written a couple of times in the last 20 years. I mean, there was certainly you can go back to the late 80s, early 90s, where people were saying, from an investing standpoint, things not too different from what you're saying right now. Essentially, best days are behind it. And there were, you can just look at a chart of IBM. I mean, there were stretches of time where this was a good stock. This was a market-beating stock. I mean, mid-90s to the early 2000s, late 2008 for, really the next 5 years. It was kind of surprising the way that they were performing. But so I guess my question is, even though they've got all this competition, particularly, as you mentioned, against the likes of AWS and Azure, is there still an opportunity? Would it surprise you if the next 5 years this was a market-beating stock?
It would surprise me if it were a market-beating stock. The core of IBM is still in a tough spot. I think the businesses that are doing well are growing to be a larger percentage of revenue, but when you have these other massive businesses that are a part of IBM still in decline, that coming to beat the market and beating other companies that don't have any of that baggage, that's tough. I think, though, when you look at IBM's earnings, it's smart not to write an obituary, mainly because we can't forget that their upcoming acquisition of Red Hat is still in the works and will close later this year. So IBM is about a $120 billion business now that's spending $34 billion to acquire Red Hat. That's the largest software acquisition ever. And that should accelerate their efforts to become more modern in the cloud market. And I do think that deal is interesting. Red Hat's products are pretty much entirely open source, I think, and the business model there builds around support and professional services, which IBM has lots of experience in. And it should help them accelerate their expertise in hybrid IT, really just helping companies work across multiple public clouds, private clouds, legacy infrastructure. And Red Hat has other more technical products like Kubernetes, which helps what's known as containerized applications, which helps developers. It means they don't have to run a virtual machine for every single application that they're working with. And that's super technical, but that is a big growing field that should help modernize IBM's business. That said, it's massive. It's the most obvious Hail Mary that I've seen in tech, I think. And it makes sense why IBM would do it. They need something like this. But I don't know how smooth it will go. I bet some of Red Hat's people will jump ship. There's going to be culture clash. And even though IBM will probably want to do lots of cross-sells, I don't know if all of Red Hat's customers will want to buy lots of other IBM services. So I think it'll be fascinating how it goes down. Definitely not writing an obituary here, but I think that we still can find better stocks than IBM.